I was getting ready to go and cut some wood, and I was cutting down the rakers, with the gauge. Well, I've got two different, I got a 25 and a 30, and with throws like this, I tend to use the 30. But I noticed my glove, my right hand glove, my left hand ain't bad, got one burn on it, but my right has actually got a hole in it. And, well, two holes in those, my trigger finger and the next finger, which, I guess I use a lot. Now, these are, God, they got to be 3 or 4 years old. These are the old Welsamont Hydrohide that I have been really fond of. My sister gave me for Christmas once, years back. But I like these so much, I had stocked up ahead of these. And like I said, the right one, no holes, just the one burn mark, because they do have that synthetic on the back. But the thing about these old ones, they're made out of goat skin. The stuff is incredibly tough. I've been really happy with these. So, I mentioned this before, I stocked up on them. So I just went in the house and grabbed a new pair. And I still got a box full of new ones. But, at the rate that I use them, I got enough to last me a lifetime. But great glove. But that's my whole theory about, if you find something you like, you stock up ahead of time, because now they still make what they refer to as a hydrohide, but they're not out of goat skin, they're out of some synthetic. And I have been, it's been proven to me that the goat skin lasts better. These have been soaked in diesel fuel, battery acid, they've been through hell for years. And they've been a good glove. Well, it's time. I'm going to go to a new pair. Because eventually, like I can tell in this hand, that thin slate has broken down, because they do have a small amount of thin slate in them. They're not insulated real heavy, but you can see kind of there where there's a little poking through. So, as long as we're in this sub-zero weather again, good time to use them, to go to the new pair. Though I will not throw these away. I will hang on to these, because in any situation like handling barbed wire and stuff like that, no point abusing a new pair. I'll keep this old pair. They still have use, and like I say, the right is wore out, but the left is still good. Well, if I should ever run into a situation, where I wreck a left-hand one, I've got a spare then. But that's why you stock up ahead. I noticed in one of these last videos, I'll go into this first. This is a funny thing, like this I'm doing with the camera that's on the phone. This is a different phone. I don't normally do phone stuff. I use my regular cameras. But I'm testing this one out to see what the video is like, what the audio is like, so I thought I'd try it. But it was a funny thing. This is just a newer version of, I go with the Motorola Droid phones. That's what I've always had. I've got several different ones that I use for different things. Just swap the SIM card out. Well, on the one I was using, I actually cracked the screen on it, and I figured, okay, for certain purposes, I wanted to get a new one, and you can buy them, brand new for like $100. And this is a Turbo 2. But it's got 32 gigs of memory. So I thought, well, okay, I can do a video of that. We'll just see what the audio is like and what the video is like. I don't, like I say, use phones normally unless it's a random deal. I happen to be, it's the only camera I have with me. But I thought I'd try this one. But in doing this, I ran into setting this phone up, because I can just pop my SIM card in, and then it's my regular phone number, and the information, the contacts are all there and everything. It's no big deal. But in setting up the emails, now I use various email accounts for different purposes. And it was a while back where you were stuck with this Gmail. Well, I don't normally use Gmail, but it was there. Much like my second channel was there, even though I hadn't used it until like a couple of years ago. I think I started using the Ghost channel, but that was there. It was to do when you were doing a Google Plus nonsense. Somehow I ended up with that. But like I say, for most of my notifications and stuff, I don't use Gmail. But I had that account, so I said, oh, well, if people want to email me directly, since you can't instant message or, you know, do a direct comment to somebody, a private comment anymore, since Google changed that. I just said people could use that. Well, I never really got any on the Gmail account. You know, it's just Log Cabin Lubes on Gmail. Well, here when I go and set this new one up, I find over 100 emails that people had sent. You know, comments or questions that people had that they asked me privately. Well, okay. Like I say, I didn't get them before, or I would get some Gmail, but not from YouTube. You know, it's a weird deal. But the problem is that these different email outfits, Microsoft does the same thing. There's always a battle where Gmail wants to take over all your email accounts, and you want to run through them. You know, it's not. Their theory is, oh, this makes it easier for you to have one main email that's working everything. That isn't really the truth. The truth is that if there's information changing hands going out there, they want to get their grips on it. So Gmail takes over everything. But in the odd way then, some of my Microsoft mail ended up being duplicated onto Gmail, and I'd get it through Gmail, but I wouldn't actually be getting the comments that went to Gmail through Gmail. Well, they were just piling up. So there's a whole bunch of them back there, and I'll have to deal with that sometime or another. But like I said, they've been sitting there for a while. But Microsoft does the same thing. You know, if you have multiple email accounts, every company wants to take they want to get all of your email, and they'll manage it and make it easy for you. You know, like Outlook wants to do that for Microsoft. To me, it's a pain in the ass, so sometimes I'll actually be running different accounts on different phones, you know. But on this one, I was trying to get them all organized into one. Of course, Gmail took them all over, and then I discovered, okay, here's the Gmail comments that came in that I have, you know, because people have said, oh, I emailed you, and you know, from the comments, from the videos, I never heard back. Well, yeah, because I never heard from you because Gmail was tucking them away. But at the same time, rustling up all my other emails. So, you know. Anyway, one of the things somebody was asking, and I'll deal with them sometime, you know, we'll see. But in one of those last videos that I did, I was wearing this cap. Okay, these are great, but there again, much like these gloves, they don't make these anymore. No, I've got spares of these. They were made by Wigwam. They're Bella La Cava. You know, you roll them up, or you can pull them down, but they're a stocking cap with a brim. Now, these work great. You can wear them under a helmet. They work great in combination with, you know, I've got a bunch of them French Army goggles that I use on a motorcycle. But also, you know, if you're out skiing or something, they fit in there just perfectly. These are great, but you cannot get them anymore. I don't know that Wigwam makes them anymore, but they're wool. But it's the way the world works. If you find something, you got to stock up on it. Well, even these chains, I like these. These are the EXL. They're, you know, the green or the yellow label that are, you know, no safety features. Them babies are made to cut. There's no anti-kickback nonsense in them. Well, I think I've got like 8 of them on hand. But that's how I work. And I have never regretted doing that. In fact, I keep my eyes open in case more of these. You got to find old stock, new old stock. That's the way I found these gloves. But it takes searching. But that's what works for me. Yeah, we'll see how this phone contraption worked. It's still recording, that's a good sign. But I think this way I can actually post it directly from this. So we'll try that and see.